I guess you heard the latest from the Fox sewer. Reminds me, what I'm about to share with you, reminds me of two incidences, one of which I read and one of which I was witness to. The one I read was, of course, Orwell's book, 1984, where in the Ministry of Truth, it was Winston Smith's job to disappear people from history and to disappear things that had been said that the Big Brother regime no longer believed that the proles, the proletariat, should have access to. So it was sent down the memory hole. You remember that, right? Pictures with 4 people standing there when one of them turned out to be not sufficiently loyal to to Big Brother, almost said the Orange Ape. He was disappeared. Kind of like what Trump does now. Trump hasn't yet figured out how to erase people from history, but he erases them from public service. That's part of it. That's what I've read. What I've witnessed as a kid was Soviet Russia, the Soviet Union. Every May Day or celebration of the defeat of the Nazis by the Russian military in World War II, you would have that military parade with weaponry. Of course, we were now the enemy, not the Nazis, not this, not that, but us. And the parade would goose-step its way through Red Square with missiles, some of which were dummies, like the Chinese have done, like the North Koreans have done. But some of them were very goddamn real. And the goose-stepping military, as they went by remember that upper ledge where the rulers of the Politburo would stand, Bulganian and Khrushchev and, whoever they were at the time. There'd be 5 or 6 of these dour-looking, gray, nasty-ass, belligerent-looking leaders of the people standing there. And there would be a picture in the TASS news agency would send out a picture. And it would go worldwide so that we all could see who was standing up on the parapet of the Kremlin as these troops and missiles and tanks rode by. And then as people in that group, say there were 5 people, say 6, as people in that group were purged by Stalin or Khrushchev, or Bulganian, or Kosygin, or whoever was in charge, as they were purged, they were disappeared from the picture. So 5 years after a picture taken of Mr. A, B, C, D, and E, the picture would be re-released, and you would say, Mr. A, B, D, and E. What happened to C? Oh, what are you talking about? C? There was never any C. Who do you mean? I thought I saw a guy named Kosygin in that. Nah, what are you talking about? Just these 4. Now, it's the Fox sewer. We have, in this country, a media organization that is as anti-American as it could possibly be, as totalitarian as it could possibly be. Just a filthy shithole of personalities, if you want to call them that, on the Fox sewer, who seem determined to aid and abet this orange ape in the destruction of America. What the hell is wrong with these people on Fox? They are all sick sons of bitches, every single one of them. So you know what they did recently? Well, while the rest of us were winding down our big-ass July 4th holiday weekend, right? The Fox sewer was getting innovative on the screen in all of our homes. This is reported by Eric Wemple, the media critic at the Washington Post. Here's what he wrote. A Sunday afternoon segment on Fox covered the arrest in New Hampshire last week, of Ghislaine Maxwell, who is indicted on a charge of, quote, helping, end quote, financier Jeffrey Epstein to, quote, recruit, groom, and ultimately abuse. In place of the word abuse, I mean, let's get nasty. Just put the word fuck in there. Underage girls. Arrested last summer on charges of exploiting underage girl, the 66-year-old Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. The New York Medical Examiner determined that he died of suicide by hanging. As the Fox anchor Leland Vittert discussed the case with attorney Jordan Merson, Fox News displayed images of Ghislaine Maxwell, and Epstein, including the one at the top of this column, and you can see it at the Washington Post. However, there's something missing from the photograph. And the full shot from Getty Images indicates just what or who is missing. Donald Trump. The photo was taken at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort on February 12, 2000. The cropping, the removing of Trump left America's News HQ with a baffling display. Maxwell, Ghislaine, and Epstein mugging for the camera in proximity to future First Lady Melania Knauss. She's in the picture. Even in the cropped photo, this shows you how absolutely idiotic and a bunch of assholes they are at Fox. In the cropped photo, the fingertips of Trump's left hand can be seen around Melania's waist. Jesus, God. So how did all this happen? Well, the Fox sewer issued a statement. And according to the media critic at the Post, here's the statement. In a statement, a Fox News spokesperson says, quote, on Sunday, July 5th, a report on Ghislaine Maxwell during Fox News Channel's America's News HQ mistakenly eliminated President Trump from a photo alongside then Melania Knauss, Jeffrey Epstein, and Maxwell. We regret the error, end quote. Well, let's give Fox News a cookie for confessing. Even though they said it was an error? How could that be an error? If anybody was not pertinent to the story, it was Melania Knauss. But Epstein and Miss Ghislaine and Mr. Trump were very pertinent. Because Miss Ghislaine was securing underage girls for Epstein and some prince in the royal household in London, and Trump to sexually attack, to rape, to mount, to violate, including Trump. Carving Trump out of a photo takes deliberation and effort. And the Fox sewer calls it an error. An error. The Post goes on, by removing Trump from the shot, Fox News was doing photographically what Trump himself has sought to do professionally in recent years, play down all his connections with Epstein. As the New York Times reported a year ago, at one time Trump palled around with Epstein at Mar-a-Lago and spoke, quote, enthusiastically, end quote, about their friendship. After Epstein's arrest in 2019, Trump told reporters, quote, I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him in 15 years. I was not a fan. A long time ago. I'd say maybe 15 years. I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you. I was not a fan of his, end quote. Oh, you filthy pig, you. Now compare that with what he'd told New York Magazine in 2002, which is this, quote, Oh, I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. End quote. The Orange Ape. So even if there was some sort of falling out, as the ape puts it, Trump was buddies with Epstein and well aware of Epstein's preference for, younger women, say 14? Right, ape? 15? 16? You filthy pig, you? This was on America's News HQ, one of the network's so-called straight news programs, and yet there it was, propagating crooked bullshit reporting. There it was. Now, the thing to keep in mind, and this is true of most cable news organizations, the Sunday afternoon crew at Fox rarely makes any news out there of their own. That stands to reason, considering that they're producing weekend afternoon cable news. It's just rerun stuff. I don't care what the cable company is. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, it doesn't make any difference unless there's some breaking story. But Trump himself on Sunday afternoon signaled to the world that even on a hot summer weekend afternoon, he has nothing better to do than channel surf cable news. This bloated cheeseburger-eating son of a bitch has nothing better to do. The President of the United States, he tweeted on Sunday afternoon this, quote, Fox News weekend afternoons is getting worse, getting into CNN and MSDNC territory. Watch One American News and Newsmax instead. Much better. End quote. Maybe the ape missed the worst cable news network violating journalistic ethics to keep him out of an unflattering photo.
Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to The Ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.